up, tribe? So, in 1994, in Rwanda, over 1 million people were killed in the ethnic cleansing of the Tutsi ethnic group. In January of this year, I headed to Rwanda to basically see how the country is still existing. How were they able to find peace after all that bloodshed? I felt like Rwanda had the cure to the disease of Black genocide that could be duplicated and administered in the streets of Chicago, Los Angeles, St. Louis, and my native Oakland. But as it turned out, life in Rwanda post genocide is, of course, far more nuanced. Today, we are here to speak with one woman, Janviere Imanishimwe, my friend and tour guide. And we're here to talk about her experience during the genocide, her stories. Hi, Janviere.
Hi.
Hi.
Roger.
Why are you making that face, Janviere?
I'm excited.
Is that the excited face? Let me let me ask you a question. Lead in question. Did you take Moto today?
No.
Moto is, for the people that don't know, it's like motorbikes and taxi. It's like a taxi, but it's a motorbike. And they are so deep. That was one of the top things that I take away from Kigali is the motorbikes everywhere. Like you'll be there standing on a corner talking and they'll come and circle you. I said, whoa. Yeah, but other than that, what's going on your side? What's new? What's different? What's the same?
Well, nothing new. Nothing new really. And about the motos are the quickest and the cheapest way, yeah, for people who cannot afford the cabs. And yeah, it's they are very popular here. Everybody uses them. Like
Mm,
many people don't have cars, and buses take a very long time,
mhm.
and they cannot reach all the places. So yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get on one. Just
I know. I know. They can be scary because these people, they're always running, running, running. So you never know if you're going to get there alive. It's more adventurous, but yeah, you have to get used to it to feel safe on it, to be honest.
yeah, I wasn't down for that, Janvier.
It's fun though.
Is it?
It's fun when you need to.
I bet it is, man. So you were showing me around town. Let me just fill in, for the people out there. And one place that I wanted to go was the Genocide Museum. And I think about that decision on my part to ask you to go there, simply because, things came out and your story came out while we were there. And I felt insensitive that I would, you know, ask you to take me to a place that would trigger so many emotions for you. And but I'm also very grateful. I want to thank you for sitting down and telling your story to the tribe out there. And so I wanted to open up the floor for you to share your story with people because you are a survivor for real. And so we're here to talk about something, very, very traumatic. So yeah, thank you. Thank you again. I'll be thanking you
You're
throughout.
welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So the how old were you when the genocide took place?
I was 4 years old, only 4 years old, but it doesn't feel like that because I was alone the whole time for 3 months. Because I was not with any grown ups to protect me or to hide what was happening from me. So
Mm,
I kind of quickly matured because it was too much. And I still recall most of whatever I saw, and the memory keeps coming back, of course. Yeah, because I saw it all. I saw it all.
okay. Let's get
Yes.
to some of those things that you have seen. So, you're 4 years old and you were alone for 3 months. What are the events that led up to you being alone for 3 months? How did all of this begin in your 4-year-old mind?
When it started, I lived with my grandmother, my father's mother, and his cousin. For the first day, my grandmother was killed.
Mm.
Few days later, my dad's cousin was killed.
Were you present when your grandmother was killed?
Sorry.
Were you present? Were you there when your grandmother was killed?
No, she was taken. She was taken, but then she didn't come back. So she was not killed in my sight, but the cousin of my dad was killed at my side. She was carrying me. I was sitting on her laps, and then she was shooting head. Yeah, so this is 2 days later after my grandmother was taken away. So this is how I got out of our home because I was alone in the house. Um, and people started to come steal the stuff in the house. So the house was empty, and my dad's cousin body was lying there.
Mm.
Um,
So,
uh,
Janviere, I know, wow. So you were 4 years old, but you remember everything, right?
Maybe not everything, but most of the things. At least the most shocking events.
Okay. And so,
Yeah.
do you remember any fear leading up to this? Any kind of tension like people are coming? Do you remember being warned or prepped about these things about to happen?
Before, you mean before genocide?
Beforehand, like, yes, so before the genocide,
No,
warned or prepped
no,
of the things that were going to happen, like it was a total
no,
came out of nowhere.
no.
Yeah.
I only started to see it when it started because I was just four. I was an innocent kid.
Mm.
My grandmother loved me so much. She protected me from anything. So I was not exposed to the hatred. However, after genocide, I heard about the stories of her being beaten by neighbors
The neighbors.
because she was Tutsi, and she couldn't be invited in the weddings just because she's Tutsi. Um, but these are the stories I heard about after genocide, because otherwise I was just a small kid, innocent, who didn't know what was going on till I just saw it. So there is no, I never see it. I never saw it coming. I was too young for that.
You were too young for that. Okay, I see that. I understand. And so your cousin that was holding you, do you remember? And I know this is very, very painful for you. It must be. What is that?
Network again.
It sounds like an elephant in the back.
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's my daughter.
Oh, she opened the door.
She wants a hug.
Oh,
Sorry. Don't open the window. Sorry.
I did. But that was the son, right?
Yeah, my daughter came to ask me a question, and then my son came because he doesn't go to bed without a hug.
Oh, sleep, asleep, sleep, asleep. Okay, but if you can take me back to your cousin holding you. So
That's
this
my. It was my dad's cousin.
your dad's
Not my cousin.
cousin. It was a male,
Mhm.
no,
She was a female,
it was woman.
and she was killed by a bunch of men. And I remember all the questions they asked her before they killed her. They
But
kind of tortured her, like, "Why are you mean to people? Why you are so arrogant? You don't talk to people. Why?" And she didn't even know who these people were, so she was confused. And but the more she said she didn't even know who they were, they got angry. um they say, "We called you the other day when you were passing by and you didn't reply to us." And she was like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." And but so they asked for ID, which said that she was Tutsi. By the time Rwandans had their uh um so they I don't know, I think you saw that in the memorial, that the identity card had the ethnics.
mm, mm-hmm,
So it was not possible to hide. If you were asked your ID, you knew you were going to die. So she
mm,
gave it to them, and they kept convincing her, just to irritate her. They kept telling her that she, and it was many men, so there is no way she was mean to all men. And besides, she didn't even know them. So apparently they were sent by someone who knew or who hated the family. Um, but then they shoot her in the head,
mm,
and
mm,
I was sitting on her laps, and then they tried to ask me questions, but I was too young to reply to the questions. But there was an old lady, our neighbor, who were very close, and she told them, "Don't kill this baby. She's just a guest." So they believed her, and they said they wanted to kill me, but the old lady begged them to save me so that she would take me, because then they said, "Okay, we don't have to dirty our hands with this one. She would die, by the way. She's alone, so she's not going to make it." Then
so
I was,
the neighbor that spoke up for you was Hutu, obviously.
yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then she kept me in the house till the next morning, but I was scared of her because I grew up, we grew up hearing stories that old ladies who live alone are witches. So I
Mm.
thought that she could eat me or do what. So I asked her to take me to the neighbors who had children, because she never had children. So I thought I could go to the neighbors with children. This is why where I started the journey to go, to flee to nowhere, because I was just following these people. And then on the way, we missed each
Who are
other.
you following? Who are you following, Janviere? And so let me just get the
The
timeline.
neighbors, the neighbors.
You're following the neighbors with the old lady. No, so the old lady sent you to the other
The
neighbors.
old lady gave me away.
She gave you away to
Yes.
the
To
other
the
neighbor?
neighbors who had children because I was scared of her.
Okay, okay, okay. So now you're in the
Yeah.
house with them, and you said you were following them.
Yes, I was following them, but I missed them on the way. So I found myself alone.
You missed them? What does that mean? That you got
Yes, because there
separated
was
from
a
them?
very big, in all streets of Rwanda, there was a big cloud of people. So it was impossible to stay together. People missed each other.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, and people died on the way. Yeah.
So you got separated from that group. Were you
Yes.
with other people that you didn't know, or were you walking alone?
Alone.
How
So
long were you?
I missed
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I missed these people and I went alone.
How
So I
how
found myself alone.
how long were you walking alone, and what did you eat? How did you survive?
I just went close to the people. Whoever I saw eating, I asked for food. My feet were swollen. If I felt tired, I just laid down because I was following people. I didn't even know where I was going. But I whenever I saw people eating, I asked for them, and people were generous because people were kind to each other because in the end they were being hunted. So they were generous enough to share what they had. And I was a small kid, so people had um, pity. Um, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Um, that's it. But there is time I was hungry and couldn't get food, and there is time I was thirsty and couldn't get water. So, but I still survived. Mm.
How long were you on this road? Where did this road take you?
On the way, many people tried to adopt me, but they also died on the way. I was adopted by three different women who were also killed on the way, but I survived. Where in Herahamwe were throwing um, the bombs, and at some point people died, and it's a miracle that I was not even wounded. Um, Yes, but there is also one lady that adopted me on the way, and she found me and she noticed me because we were neighbors. So she kept me for a few days, but she also I kept stressing her, telling her how much I missed my grandma because I didn't understand that my grandmother was killed and I didn't believe it because I didn't see her being killed. So I had hope that I will find her at some point. So, my so this woman also used to hit me very hard. Like she hit me in the head because I kept moving. I couldn't stay in one place. So as soon as she left, I went hoping I would find my grandmother. And each time she hit me in the head, and I have a very big scar because after some time I did the same mistake and she hit me again before the wound was healed. So um I have a very big scar in my head here. Um yeah, but then I found Rwandan refugee camp and then I was adopted in orphanage.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it.
How long? Thank you again.
The
And
genocide lasted for 3 months, 100 days.
yes, ma'am. How long were you in the orphanage, and what do you remember about the orphanage?
Oh, well, it was not. It was not a very long time because I was also adopted by a Christian lady that I don't even know. She lived in Yamirambo. She had 5 children that she took from orphanage. She took us to her house. This is where this is where I was found because I didn't know even my parents' names because I was raised by my grandmother. This is where my mother found me. I didn't even know her. I didn't know the names. For she got news that there is a woman in Nyamirambo
Let
who
me
have
hold on, Jen.
orphans.
Hold on, really quickly. You were raised by your grandmother. You said you did not know the names of your parents. You had never seen your mother before. Is that what you said?
I had no memories of her. I thought my grandmother was my mom actually.
Hmm.
Yes, so
And you had no memories of your father either.
no.
How did they
Mm-mm.
find out that this lady was your mother?
It's I knew that my grandmother sold fishes in Gikondo market. It was the local market and my grandmother used to sell fishes there. So I told them, and these women who were with me by that time took me to the market to ask people around if there is anyone who could know me. Then people said they knew me, but they also knew who my mother was, but they also knew that my grandmother was dead. So this woman told them where she lived. And the time my mom came in the market, they told her they saw me. And then she came to look for me.
Okay.
That's how I found my mother for the first time. That was the first time I saw her because I didn't have any memory of her because I was raised by my grandma. Said I was a small baby. My parents were teenagers.
Hmm.
Yes, and my by the time genocide started, my father was studying in boarding school. He was in high school, and my mother lived in a village with her parents. So she left me uh with my grandmother. Went back to the village.
Okay. So you lived at that point, you moved back in with your mother.
Yes.
Okay. Were things better? Hey, you're back.
Yeah, network is really bad.
Yeah. So you moved back in with your mother. Let me ask you this. How was your mother able to survive the genocide?
Hmm. That's a good question. She never left the country. So she was in a hideout in a stadium till Inkotanyi came and rescued everyone there.
So once you moved back in with your mother, it was stable. You were able to have a pretty stable upbringing with your mother.
No, it was not. It was also very traumatic because she had a partner who were very abusive. Um, and she was really, really young. And by that time, she had a very two small babies. So to me, I really wished I could go back to the orphanage because it was at least peaceful. So
Mm,
it was not peaceful to be with my mother. It was like I it was not exciting because it was from one traumatic event to another one. Um yes.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, to hear all of this, like trauma on trauma on trauma, it seems like inescapable. But to know you, to know Janviere, it feels like it would appear as though you have found a lot of peace. You're a peaceful person to be around. You are raising two beautiful children, and you exude a very positive energy. I'm telling you this. Having been around you, I'm telling you this. My question is, how do you go from all of those things which you have experienced, those horrifying ordeals, and from that, how do you get into a person that is a genuine pleasure to be around, and you smile and have positive energy? What I mean, because a lot of people would turn inward, be self-destructive, or maybe abusive, or you would be able to see that pain on their face. How are you able to avoid all of these things and be a beacon of hope?
Well, I would say the pain is here. The pain is still here, and the scars are still here. It's just that we learn how to live with it because we cannot completely run away from it, but life cannot also stop. Life has to go on. So I would say the thing I'm very grateful is that I had um um there is a fund. I was grateful. I decided to focus on positive side because there is no way I could survive everything I went through. Also knowing that there is many people out there like me helped a lot. Then there is a fund that the government, RPF government, established. It was for to support the genocide survivors. So the widows were built a house to live in, and the orphans were put in schools, which I couldn't afford if it wasn't for the government. And so I had access to education, and we have student communities in every high school for the genocide survivors, where the orphans bring them together, bring each other together. They form small groups of families where when they bring a father and children. So you find like 5 to 10 families of people, and then it includes the students who were not genocide survivors. So we learn together, and we bring back the sense of family, the feeling of having people can count on. This is something that helps us a lot, even now, even at university. So it's having a supportive community where you share your problems about everything. You feel heard. I cannot talk to for everyone because everybody has a different healing journey. But
Mhm,
if I am the way I am today is because I only focused on that. Because what happened is not something I could change. Nobody can change that, but it's still here. We There is no way we can forget about it.
mhm,
But it also we like I convinced myself, and I'm sure that it's not going to happen again. So I don't live in fear that it's going to come back.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, and we grew this big community where we we have friends, we have families. We love each other, just like we call them mother, we call them father, we call them sisters and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And this helped a lot because you cannot feel alone because you know you have support, you have people to go to. And yes, I think that's it. I chose to look on the bright side.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I cannot dwell into the past, because I want to see the future, because I want to keep living. I don't want to stop living. So, and yeah, and I think positively. So, yes, that's it.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you think positively. You definitely exude that kind of energy. I should also tell the people out there that, well, the approach taken by the Rwandan government to move forward is there's one Rwanda, right? There's one Rwanda. You don't speak on tribes or anything like that. You identify as a Rwandan. That's what it is, okay?
Yeah.
And I I wanted to say, and so with that, um, there are some things that aren't discussed. There are some things that can't be discussed, okay? In terms of various tribes and how they came to be and things of that nature. Um, but I do want to ask you about not just your personal future, but the future of Rwanda, because with pain manifesting when it does, I can imagine that things would get very uncomfortable at times. But in terms of the future for your children and oh no, oh, broke up, it broke up, it broke up. She's back. She's back.
This network.
Yeah. So, um, I want to say that because there's certain places that we cannot go with this conversation. But I do want to get into the future and just end with what do you want? What do you wish for your country? You talk about your own personal healing journey. What do you want the future of Rwanda to look like? When you close your eyes and you see the future of your nation, what do you see? And how do you actually get there as a country, according to Janviere?
Well, I'm very content. The fact, the fact Rwanda is the most secure country. Like,
Secure
I've
country.
been out of Rwanda. I have been out of Rwanda. I saw countries where people don't work around after 6, and I saw countries where you cannot walk around with your jewelries, but Rwanda is the security. You've been here. You can
Mhm,
walk around with millions of money on the street. Nobody cares. You can you can go to the bank and withdraw money. Nobody follows you. And as people who were threatened, and for me, in my personal opinion, I don't think I need anything. Honestly, all Rwandans have access to health insurance.
mhm.
You pay almost nothing to have access to specialists. So I don't know what to wish for. I'm very content. Like, it's actually, it's overwhelming because you saw how clean Rwanda is. What can I ask for? um, the security. I think for myself and for most of Rwandans, security is very important, and we have a lot of security here. So I'm grateful for what we have. Maybe if it goes like this, in my own opinion, I'm very content. Like honestly.
Well, let me tell you, I absolutely agree with you. I would say that Kigali is the cleanest city I have been to ever in my life, and I did feel very safe, and things were extremely well manicured. And yes, you could take a stroll at any time. Shout out to the government for the upkeep, right, and for maintaining that. Let me just rephrase though, because the outside is brilliant. The outside of Kigali is gorgeous, what your eyes can see. But if I were to ask you about the future of the emotional makeup, the interior of the country, the feelings, the emotions, and all of that, what do you wish for the inside, the souls of people on the collective healing journey of the country?
I wish everyone can. Well, um, I wish people were more aware of their own emotions, and I wish there were access to therapies, because some people are wounded and they don't even know. Some people are still hurting and they don't know. So I wish there was more awareness about mental health, about traumas, because many people are just confused, especially for young people, for people who were young when genocide happened. Um, but at least the people were grown, know their emotions. Maybe they took the healing journeys. I would say time heals, but also some things don't heal completely. So I wish everybody can wear their scars beautifully. Um, I wish I wish there was everyone that could have um, access to therapy, because people don't even most of people are not even aware of what therapy is. Yeah, but yes, so this is my biggest wish, because some people also don't believe in therapies here. I remember one day telling one of my family members that I really needed a therapy, and she said, "But those are for people who are crazy. You don't need that." So
Mm,
I wish there is more awareness. I wish everyone that got to know that um, um, going to therapy doesn't mean you're going crazy. It means you care about your well-being. Yes, that's it.
yes, sir. Well, thank you so much, Janviere. And is there any way that you would like for people to reach you? Do you have any social media? Do you have anything that you want people to support? Any business, anything like that that you want to put out to the people, to my tribe?
I don't know. I well, I'm not a very big fan of social media.
Me
I
neither.
don't even know how to use it that much, and I post few times on Instagram. I am Janviere's kitchen, because I love cooking. Cooking is my one of my therapies, by the way.
Yes.
I love cooking
Mhm.
it, and I love feeding people. I have a very strong relationship with food, because during all of those time I was young, I was starving most of the time.
Mm.
So when I see people the first question I ask them, are you hungry?
Mm,
You eaten? So I'm trying to do a business out of it. I can be reached on Instagram as Janviere's Kitchen.
mhm,
Yeah, and I'm on Facebook like Janviere Imanishimwe.
mhm.
But I don't share that much because I really don't know how to use social media. I'm not a social media person. Yeah, I'm there.
Janvier's Kitchen, you check that, right? You check that one on Instagram, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah, that's the one that you want people to follow.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Maybe I'll be motivated to even post more.
Yes, you should.
Because I really love it, but I'm just no, maybe I will be motivated to be there and share my passions with people. I also like, yes, I like to sh- when people share their own stories, because I learn that most of people have stories but they don't have anyone to listen,
Mm,
or they want platform when they feel heard and seen and not judged.
mhm,
So yeah, it's one of my dreams to create a community where people can share their problems and their fears, their challenges without feeling bad about it.
yeah, yeah. Anything you
And
want?
to see, and I wish I wish I wish we, I don't know if it's possible, but I wish it was possible that we can have a big community where nobody feels left out. You
Hmm.
get what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to do
Yes.
with the Awkward Black Tribe.
Yes, 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 yeah. That's very nice. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That,
Okay, Janvier. So thank you so much for rendering your story, for feeling safe and comfortable sharing your story on this platform. I wish you much success in the realm of culinary expertise and being a top chef in Rwanda. Thank you
thank
so
you so
much
much.
once
Thank
again. And peace, tribe, and another one.
you.